Viewer discretion is advised.
She woke up in a dark place. It smelled of rot and urine. Before she could ascertain her location, the half-wolf, half-human pressed up right in front of her, examining intently with one side of its face. A horrible sight with uncanny human features laid across a canvas of flesh. She remembered, it all happened so fast. The creature appeared out of nowhere and killed her partner. His neck was destroyed in a single bite, his torso torn apart. But somehow she was spared, but not for long, as it grabbed her face, dug its claws into her flesh, and peeled off the skin. Hello everybody, I'm TheRubber. Today we bring you a SCP Foundation Euclid class object, SCP-3165. SCP-3165, also known as Dog Teeth, is a humanoid female between the ages of 14 and 18 with severe malformation in its limbs and face. It lacks body hair and its skin is devoid of pigmentation. The right half of 3165's face is obstructed by its upper and lower mandibles, which resemble that of a wolf. Its upper mandible lacks a nose, instead giving way to a soft crater where the nasal cavity has fleshed over. The bones of its feet are extended, and its hands are twice the length of an average adult human's, with sharp fingernails that are also 3 times more durable. Since the time of its discovery, 3165's left cornea is milky white, suggesting late-stage cataracts. 3165 is incapable of producing human vocalizations. Therefore, it communicates through fractured sign language and certain beast-like guttural vocalizations. 3165 was discovered by a group of amateur paranormal investigator group in an undisclosed location in Ukraine. Local authorities were contacted but unable to contain it, prompting the Foundation to send out a recovery team. The team arrived at the ruins. A faint smell of rotting bodies and feces permeated the air. It gets more pungent as they navigated deeper into the heart of the complex. Throughout the exploration, they came across various items littered on the ground: torn clothes, dried bones, unrecognizable biological masses, and broken recording devices which can't be salvaged. The team arrived at a dead end. There, they found several objects, most notably a locket, which contained an image of a young blonde woman, which was later identified as a missing person along with her partner after a visit to Ukraine. Both individuals were then presumed to have been killed by 3165. They have also found a face that has been separated and peeled away from the head. Rough cuts were observed around the eye sockets and mouth, suggesting the use of the skin as a mask. Soon enough, they started to hear a growl. 3165 was stalking them from the shadows and had them cornered where it wanted them to be. Suddenly, 3165 pounced on the leader. Its claw ripped through his throat with ease. He was killed instantly. Panicked, the rest of the team immediately turned on their flashlights. 3165 was blinded for a moment and then pounced on its next target immediately. In the face of the onslaught, one of them fled the scene, leaving her alone. Her knees lost all strength. She fell to the ground as 3165 moved in closer to her. It examined her closely. Its claws reached for her face and started to feel around her cheeks and hair. She could feel something sharp was digging into her skin. She tried to scream, but nothing came out of her. Suddenly, the wounded teammate jumped on 3165 and jabbed a syringe full of ketamine onto its neck. Despite being heavily injured, he wouldn't let go as 3165 flailed around and clawed at him in an awkward position. Soon enough, the drug kicked in, and 3165 was immobilized. His valiant effort paid off, but unfortunately, he died soon after due to severe blood loss. A backup team arrived, and 3165 was transported into containment before the drug wore off. According to the assessment of a child psychologist, 3165 possesses the mental capacity and behaviors of a human child of roughly 6 to 7 years old, and is able to understand at least 200 words of the English language. 3165 appears to prefer direct communications with females. Interactions with male personnel were met with hostility, as shown in one incident when researcher Dr. Donald attempted to interview it. Before entering the containment cell, he stopped his security details to wait outside. "But sir, the subject is highly volatile. It injured and killed some of my men." The researcher merely let out a hearty laugh and waved in dismissal. That was because you lot went in with guns. We need to do this with love." The security head tried to interject, but the researcher turned towards the door before he could. "Watch and learn, gentlemen. Watch and learn." The security head sighed and ordered his team to set up beside the door and be ready to rush in when things go south.
Dr. Donald strode in and closed the door with a loud bang, startling 3165 from its slumber.
He greeted it with a smile and then briskly sat in front of it. But his friendly gesture was not reciprocated. Instead, 3165 let out an intense growl and pounced on him. It clawed at his torso, breaking his ribcage, and bit off huge chunks of flesh in his right arm. Donald screamed as he clawed away from it, but 3165 wouldn't let him go. The security head called his team into action with immediate efficiency. "Oh, for Christ's sake! All right, get in there!" The team went in and shot 3165 with tranquilizer rounds. It let out a yelp and momentarily went limp on top of Dr. Donald. They gently pushed 3165 away from him, and Dr. Donald was carried out of the cell. By then, he had lost all consciousness. His right arm was tore to the bone, dangling from his shoulder. It looked just as lively as Donald's expression, with his dead eyes staring blankly through his broken glasses and white foam forming around his gaping mouth. And so, Dr. Warrens, a female researcher, was assigned to the task. She entered the cell with an accompanying guard, and 3165 turned from its drawing to face Dr. Warrens. She smiled and approached 3165 with caution. It growled at her lightly and nodded its head at her feet, indicating her to sit down. She sat. When Dr. Warrens asked how 3165 was feeling, it made the sign for pretty, then girl, and then pointed towards her. Dr. Warrens thanked 3165 and it squealed in glee. It then signed hair and want towards Dr. Warrens. It stroked the side of its head as if playing with its hair. Before Dr. Warrens could assure her guard, 3165 suddenly jumped and scuttled up to her. Despite being shocked, Dr. Warrens stopped the guard from drawing his gun. 3165 played around her hair, and Dr. Warrens could feel that its claw was tugging at them lightly. Dr. Warrens then asked, "Why does it hurt people?" But it simply ignored her and continued to brush her hair. Dr. Warrens slowly pulled herself away before it reaches another hand. At this point, its growl began to sound increasingly hostile.
It signed at her hair, want, pretty, girl.
Suddenly, it reached forward and braced Dr. Warren's face in its elongated hands. It drags its hands across her face as if measuring it and to carve it out. Its claws dug into her face and began to tear the skin. Dr. Warrens screamed and pushed 3165 away with all her strength. The guard immediately fired his taser at 3165. It let out a series of yelps and dropped to the floor. Its body throbbed and pulsed from the shock. Dr. Warrens was escorted out of the cell.
When she looked back, 3165, with all its strength concentrated in one of its hands, weakly signed, pretty, girl, want. A tear slowly dripped from its eye.
Remember to check out my new animation channel, TheRubber Talks, where I share my life story, thoughts, and opinions. Just click on the link in the description to enter the Rubber's world. Before we end this video, we are proud to present these incredibly sweet pieces of fan art. A big thank you to all of you. You can now send us your fan art, and we will be more than happy to show off your best art piece in our next video. Check out our description below on how to submit. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Which SCP do you want to see in the next video, and why it is interesting? Let us know in the comment below. We will draw your story and share it with the world. Don't forget to click like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. Please share it to your friends if you like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.